So I was driving my 1990 Ford Bronco last night,
I love that
and
Bronco.
yeah, and about 12 minutes into the drive, got pulled over.
Okay, what'd you get pulled over for?
I think just because OJ was innocent.
So they pulled you over because OJ. Okay, it had nothing to do with the fact that maybe you were driving a 1994 Bronco that probably barely functions anymore.
Well, whether or not it's road ready is not something that I deal with.
Dude,
Um,
that thing's been around for fucking like 2 decades. How is it still going? That's
well, the
crazy.
funny thing is, I changed the battery yesterday and
Okay.
put in exactly 3 liters of gas and started up first try without any problems. So I figured it was good to go. So I put the registration on it and yeah, got
God
pulled
bless.
over almost immediately.
God bless. God bless, my friend. Um, you know what I was
It's
thinking
not
about?
street legal,
Y-
but maybe it is. I'm
Could
not
be.
getting an inspection on it, so who cares?
Yeah, can't say officially on the podcast.
Basically impound it, and I'll just never take it out. You can just keep it, police officers, because it's not worth anything.
Yeah, it's like if somebody fucking mugs me, dude, I'm not even gonna call the credit. All those credit cards maxed out already. I don't gotta worry about it.
One time I got mugged, and I had a flip phone with a $5 bill and an elastic band wrapped around it, and the guy apologized.
Dude, you know what drives me crazy? And I was thinking about this past week.
Hmm.
If I hear one more motherfucking rap song that has the line, I'll eat you up like Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I feel like I heard that in 9,000 rap songs at this point.
It's very possible.
I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I might kill myself, dude. That's just so fucking, I can't do it anymore.
I think it might be on that album that's behind me right there. Honestly.
It's probably on a few of the albums right behind you, honestly. So this is the Movie Epidemic podcast. I am your host, Charlie J. Fox, joined by, of course, Buck Hollywood Leduc.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're gonna be talking about some movie shows. You ready to talk about some movie shows?
Absolutely. I'm always ready to talk about movie shows. It's basically the only thing I like talking about. So
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Nobody wants to talk to me about it anymore. You know, nobody wants to talk to me about it anymore.
people are fed up.
Yeah, one of my coworkers is she'll just like listen to what I have to say and she'll just like absorb it, but she's not interested clearly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'll still talk about it because it's the only thing I think about. So
Yeah, me too.
so
Also
today
Bitcoin.
also Bitcoin, yes. Which I the only reason I think about Bitcoin is because I feel like such a chump for not getting in.
Dude, somebody called me. Somebody's like, "Oh, now that Bitcoin's expensive again, you're gonna be an annoying asshole again, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I can't hear you over the Brinks truck backing up to my doorstep."
I know that happened because that was me.
I literally can't stop talking about the Brinks truck backing up. I had a 40-minute conversation about Brinks trucks with somebody today.
So today we're going to be talking about the eighth film, the eighth and not the last, which is crazy. Fast and Furious movie. This movie is called Fate of the Furious. We're then going to be counting down our top 5 Roger Moore films. May he rest in peace, Roger Moore. That like legit hit me harder than I thought it would. Like,
yeah,
he's always been
managed to evade the pool just ever so slightly too, because we know Jordan J. Hardner was going to do the all Bond death pool. I don't know if you recall, but then he put the kibosh on that because he thought he had some better picks. But here's the thing: probably should have done the all James Bond death pool because that's a missed opportunity now.
Would he have included Daniel Craig or?
Yeah, I guess
Daniel Craig's still a young buck.
Well, how many James Bonds are there?
I guess there's 6, so he would only be able to choose 5, and I bet Daniel Craig would be the one he didn't choose.
Yeah, who would you put in for your dark horse for the James Bond? Who's an under 30 pick that would be able to play Bond at some point in its future?
Or you could just put Ben Whishaw, Crybaby Q.
He's not under 30.
He's not. Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I'm not sure if he's 40 or 14. He's the Adam Driver. That's not Adam Driver.
Excuse me, sir. You're Adam Driver. Yeah, Ben Wishaw's 36 years old.
Is he really, dude? He looks like a baby man. He's like it's like Clark. Eggs. It's like Clark Duke. Isn't Clark Duke over 30 now, which is crazy?
Clark Duke might be 40. Yeah, Adam Driver.
Clark Duke might be 40, but Clark Duke also might be 4. Like I can't, like I'm not sure.
Clark Duke is 32.
32, so he wouldn't even count as a dark horse, dude. He's too old.
Too old.
Which is crazy because he's younger looking than you and I and everybody I've ever met.
That is true. I'm legal for the dark horse pick. I think it's probably a good bet. You should pick me next year.
I almost picked you this year. If I'm being honest, like it seems so. I might, you know what? I might actually take you next year.
Probably a good bet. Easy points.
The only thing is that because you run the pool, do I not get the points? Like, who would administer the points?
You can take over the pool, obviously.
Okay. You'll have to before you go, you'll have to teach me the rules and regulations.
I should probably give you the password to my FTP server so you can update it.
So we're gonna be talking about Fate and Furious, top 5 Roger Moore movies. We're starting off a new franchise. We're gonna be watching. Yeah, we're gonna be watching all the Alien films.
Oh, I'm excited. Psyched.
I'm so excited that I'm just making gorilla sounds. Just, You know?
Oh, excuse me, sir. You grill at all?
And then, of course, usually we don't talk about animated movies on this show. Usually we save it all for the end of the year for the animated Tronky Donk. But this year there was one that Buckley Duke did specifically want to talk about, and that is Lego Batman. So we're gonna be talking about Lego Batman starring Will Arnett. A lot of good stuff in there. This is gonna be a fun episode. This is gonna be a really fun episode. So let's. What do we want to jump into? I feel like maybe jump right into Fate of Furious. Does that sounds about right? All right. So Fate of the Furious is the 8th film in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
So what are they doing here? Is this they're making 10?
They're making 10, and then I think they're making 6 spin-off films, all of which will star The Rock and Jason Statham.
Oh, I thought that was a trilogy, but was it 2 trilogies?
I mean, no, maybe you're right. It could be a trilogy. I know that there's just more of those coming. So
well, what we know for sure is they're going to make these every year until we die, certainly.
Well, I think these are every couple of years, isn't it? Because I feel like Furious 7 was a while back now.
I think it was last year.
Was it last year? Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Was it?
Pretty sure.
Huh, maybe you're right. No. Was it?
Pretty sure.
Are you sure? I feel like it was fucking. I feel like it was 2015, but maybe I'm wrong.
Might have been 2015. You might be right.
Yeah, maybe you're wrong. Either way, they will start making these annually now because like that's how the fucking climate of the cinema industry is now. It's just if you don't make one every year, people lose interest.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe next week when we get to Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah.
Hell yeah. So
Elite.
Every time a new Fast and Furious movie comes out, look, let's get something out of the way here right now. This movie's not good, but like it's also
this one's actually quite bad, but it's also the best thing ever. I don't like it as much as maybe 7, but I do think it's a lot of fun. Because like what I find about the Fast and Furious universe is even though it is like a wild, preposterous like concept for anything, it's also like the most genuine characters out of any big blockbuster series. Like everybody's just 100% genuine in these movies.
There's absolutely no subtlety or like foreshadowing or anything. Everybody literally just speaks exactly like nobody speaks in like any type of like metaphors or anything like that. It's all just like very direct answers to questions all the time. I kind of love it though. Like,
yeah, it's so genuine. It's like just dumb genuine, and I love it.
There's like an amazing scene in this movie where like The Rock is giving a motivational speech, and then it turns out he's teaching a fucking soccer team, like a kid's soccer team.
Oh, that's wild. Now, one thing I like about this series is they are like their goal is to street race in every country in the world. So they start off with just a giant set piece like in Cuba, Havana, Cuba. And
okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I got to stop you for a second there because I want to talk about that scene where so like that scene is insane. It's insane. So like this guy is like, I'm going to take your cousin's car because he didn't pay for it, which seems fair
enough.
Yeah, seems pretty fair to me. But then Vin Diesel is like, why don't we race for it, for the car? He's like, I will race if my cousin's shitty car. And his cousin's like, no, it is the slowest car on the island, which it's great.
Family.
It's great because then he also says his car is the fastest car on the island. And you're like, who? I don't know how you gauge that, but the odds are stacked against Vin Diesel here. And then, so Vin Diesel is like, I'm going to save you your car, mate. I'm going to save you your car. But in the process, fucking destroys the car. So what's the point? He fucking destroys the car. What? To save it? That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah, and then he ends up just leaving Cuba and giving his cousin his car. Is it even his cousin, or is it just like the whole family dynamic?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. It might just be like a friend of his that he calls cousin. But he never really like he always calls everybody his family, but he never gives like direct roles to people. Like The Rock isn't like his brother. Oh, maybe he does actually. Maybe
Well,
he
he's
does.
definitely the father figure, and they really push that hard as the storyline in this one.
Yeah, this one. Hey, if you thought the other ones were about family, gotta check out this one, because this one, I think the word family might be uttered in every line of dialogue.
It's like, you know how like people used to like watch these movies, and then the joke would be that family, it's about family. It's like they took that meme and they're like, we're making this into a movie now.
Because it's the whole meme about family, because it's all family, like, and it's all they talk about. And don't let the the trailers trick you. Just so you guys know, Dominic Toretto is 100% the good guy in this film. 100%. Yeah, they trick you. They trick you. They make it seem like he's the bad guy.
Yeah, they do the evil Vin Diesel thing. Like, they should have gave him a goatee. I think that would have been even funnier. It's like, that's not the Dom I know. He has a goatee. It's like that's the kind of trailer. It's like, it's just become a parody of itself, and I think that's why I love it so much.
I just like, it's so crazy because like Dom has clearly always been so much about family, but it's just crazy that none of the other people in the movie put two and two together. Because like, as soon as he turned his back on his family, like in the actual movie, I was like, oh shit, I bet I know what this is about. And I called it pretty early on what was going on. Like, because like, there's only one reason that Dominic Toretto would turn his back on family, right? More family.
More family.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I can't imagine the writer's room for this fucking movie where they're like, so we need to have somebody turn. I guess we'll have to go with Dom this time because we've done everybody else on the cast. What would tear him away from his family? I guess more family. It's like, all right, let's introduce more family.
Print it, send out. Do you think that Vin Diesel has to proofread these scripts before? Because I feel
definitely does. He definitely does.
Do you think that Vin Diesel adds the word family in a couple of more times when he does the proofread?
I bet he does a lot of improv when he's like actually reading his lines and slipping in family, because like he says it too many times for sure.
Like, it's to a point where,
like, if you look at it from a screenwriting standpoint, you're like, oh, obviously you would never put family in the script that many times. So obviously they're just all like editing it. Like The Rock definitely goes off script in this movie.
No, for the most part, like as far as visuals go, it's a pretty by the books action movie with car racing. So like the visuals are nothing like spectacular. There's nothing like crazy impressive. It's even
like less so than the last one.
Yeah, I'd agree. This one's a lot less visually inclined than the last one. This one is like, I feel like in the last one, they're like, all right, we got to make this a spectacle, like a fireworks show. And then in this one, they're like, do we got to make this one a spectacle? And they're like, we got cars already. So like,
I mean, the Arctic Circle stuff is kind of cool. But like, there's not as many big set pieces as previous entries.
Yeah, I agree. There's also one thing that I did really like about this movie visually is that this movie had like those blended title cards where like it would say where they were, like when they transition from one country to the next, and it would be like Cuba, and Cuba's like sort of like on the water, like the word Cuba is on the water. Like that was really cool. I really like those blended title cards. There's also an amazing scene in this movie where there's a prison riot with where The Rock and
Ooh,
Jason Statham are breaking out of prison, but they have like fucking rubber bullets in their guns and they're shooting The Rock, and The Rock is just too big to even be phased by rubber bullets. Like, it's so crazy.
I'm in the camp that believes that The Rock or movies can just be about how big The Rock is, and like once you watch Baywatch, you'll see that is in fact the case of the film, and people, 15% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. But here's the thing: movies can just sustain on being how big The Rock is.
Oh,
spoiler alert, he's big.
Oh, he's really big in this one too. Like, every time I see him in a movie, I think to myself, like, I've never seen The Rock bigger, but he just keeps getting larger, dude. Like, why is he so large? It's crazy. Yeah, that riot scene though, where they are rioting in the prison, that is an absolute blast. Let's talk about the cast: Vin Diesel and The Rock. Okay, so here we have The Rock wasn't really in the last one, and like he was sort of like I would say a B character.
Kind of took a breather because he back towards the end.
Yeah, and like I'd say he's even like a B character in like 5 and 6. He is the main character in this movie. The Rock is the main character in number 8, which is awesome, which I love. The Rock.
Well, when you watch him and Jason Statham work together, you're like, oh, obviously they're gonna you just see like one scene with them together, and you're like, oh, obviously that trilogy makes a lot of sense because they're fucking awesome together. Yeah,
they have a wild chemistry, dude. It's a lot of fun. Obviously Vin Diesel.
I feel like The Rock is like so charismatic that anybody he works with automatically just becomes the perfect buddy film.
Yeah, dude, like that's actually a good point. Like, I haven't seen Baywatch yet, but I bet you he's got good chemistry with Efron. He's got good chemistry with Kevin Hart.
Like, that's literally why I love it so much, because it's just like The Rock doing his buddy shtick, and it's just it's so good.
Maybe The Rock is
by the way.
Maybe The Rock is accidentally the most adaptable performer of all time, and nobody's noticed.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, very, very, very possible. But we got Vin Diesel. He's doing his thing. You know what's crazy is that, like, why is Vin Diesel bad at acting except in Riddick? It actually confuses me, because, like, he's not good in this movie. He's not good in really any of the Furious movies. He's as good as he needs to be, but as an actor, not very good. He just does scowl eyebrows and says family.
Drinks Coronas.
Yeah, drink. Oh, dude, no Coronas in this one though.
No Coronas. They lost the sponsorship. Clearly,
they lost the sponsorship. They swapped it out to Bud, dude. They were drinking Bud this whole movie.
Yeah.
There were some other like really bad. I wonder if I wrote it down, but there was also some really bad advertising in this movie. But I don't think I wrote it down. And I don't remember enough to. It probably wasn't as, because it's not. There's nothing gonna be as bad as Kurt Russell pulling the Corona fucking from behind the counter. There's nothing gonna be that bad ever.
Showing the label.
Showing
it's like the perfect analogy for modern blockbusters is Kurt Russell pulling out the Corona.
So Michelle Rodriguez continues to be the worst actress maybe ever. She's so bad. I mean, like, as the character of Letty, I like it because I like Vin Diesel, but like I don't like Michelle Rodriguez.
Well, like I think count our blessings that we've lost Jordana Brewster finally. So
yeah, fucking God bless, rest in peace. And Charlize Theron, she's as good as you think she's going to be, essentially.
Yeah. Well, especially for like, I feel like they do the hacker gimmick a lot in these movies, but this is like the first time they actually like, it felt like a modern day hacker, because like previously it's like, oh, it's just like movie hacker shit that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this felt a bit more genuine.
This is like a laser in the sky type fucking, like, I feel like we've seen this story so many times.
Oh, you know what? I remember what the advertising is. Like, fucking every time they get in a Dodge vehicle, it spends like several seconds on the fucking logo of the Dodge.
Yeah, they had a computer sponsorship too. I forget what it was, but like every time they were hacking, it showed the computer.
Scott Eastwood. So this is a new entry. This is a new character for the film franchise. He plays Little Nobody, which is a good bit. But here's the thing about Scott Eastwood is that he's not good at acting. Like, he's quite bad, but there's something just so goddamn charming. Like maybe it's his face. Like maybe he's just good
He
looking
looks
enough.
like Clint.
Yeah, he does. He looks like young Clint, dude. Like go watch Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then watch this, and you'll be like, that same guy.
Yeah, it's like when you see like Colin Hanks and something, and you're like, oh, is that Tom Hanks? Oh no, it's the worst version.
Am I watching Big? Am I watching Big in 2017? What the fuck? Dude, it's so crazy. He does look like Clint, and very handsome man, very handsome man. Ludacris. What the fuck, dude? Why is he so good? He gets better every time.
How is Ludacris the best actor on the planet? That blows my mind.
Yeah, this movie had a bunch of weird cameos too. For instance, how did you rope in Academy Award-winning actress Helen Mirren to be in a Fast and Furious movie? What? That's the craziest thing.
But also, I completely understand it because it's a big money, awesome franchise.
I bet you she got paid. She's not in it very much, but I bet she got paid a lot.
Yeah, you do. I think you get a lot for these cameos.
This one feels like an all-star one because really all of them are back. Like you got Jason Statham is back. You got Luke Evans. Luke Evans, is that his name? Luke Evans is back. Helen Mirren's in there. Tyrese Gibson.
Tyrese and Ludacris is my favorite team of all time. They should do a spinoff of those damn boys.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. I'm just trying to think of who the team is because I know there's 6 in this movie, and it's The Rock, Letty, Tyrese, Luda, Scott Eastwood, and I feel like there's one more that I'm missing.
There's the hacker lady.
The hacker. Oh yeah, the hacker lady. You know what? She was from Furious 7, right? She was like one of the one of the bad guys in Furious 7. I don't care. I'm not really that interested.
Well, they need to have more females on the cast. So
I wish that they had kept around because like every time they do one of these movies, they save one of the bad guys so that he can be a good guy in the next film, which is a great way to do things.
Yeah,
but in this one,
I agree.
Like they saved the Charlize Theron character, which is fine. But I didn't want her to be. I wanted the fucking redhead guy from Game of Thrones. I wanted him in more. I think was his character name Rhodes with the fucking Rhodes. Giant beard. Dude, I wanted that guy in more. Like, but they killed him. Unfortunately, spoilers. Unfortunately, so he will not be around for the next one. Another thing too about this movie that's surprising is that as far as visual effects, there's nothing like too spectacular. But as far as cinematography goes, there's some really cool cinematography in this movie. There's like some scenes, and I don't know how this has never been done, or maybe it has been done and I've just never seen it done, is like it's some of the scenes where they're driving around, you get like a bird's eye view, sort of like almost like early Grand Theft Auto, you know, like the bird's eye view. And like it helps you see everything that's going on in the scene. And I really like that. And I haven't seen that before in a car chase before.
Yeah, it's a good way to get your bearings on where everything is. Because I feel like so often it's just like a montage of cool things going by.
Just montage of cars
hitting where the
stuff.
fuck you are.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like that sort of grounds it and makes it a lot easier to understand what's actually happening in the scene. You know what's crazy about this movie? Is that like obviously they're gonna start making these sillier. By the time we hit number 10, they will have gone to space for sure.
They're going to space, right? They have to go to space.
Like I couldn't even believe that one of them wasn't a robot in this movie. Like I wouldn't be surprised
Dude,
if it was revealed in Furious 9 that Charlize Theron was a robot the entire time. But like they're getting sillier, but the Charlize Theron character had like magic powers in this one, dude. It's so crazy where she could fucking control cars. Wasn't there a fucking guy with that exact same power in that Russian superhero movie we watched, like with the exact same superpower?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, she was
they sort of
cars, but
yeah, they sort of explained by saying she was hacking the cars, but like, hey, can't hack that many cars and control them all at the same time. That's fucking crazy. Clearly, she's magic.
You like, magic lady.
She has to be. She has to be magic. There's also a scene like in this movie that, because like there is crazy shit in this movie. Not as much, but there is crazy shit. There's a part where it starts raining cars, and you're like, what? It's some of the most insane stuff ever. It is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and it is directed by our boy F. Gary Gray.
Of Straight Outta Compton fame.
Straight Outta Compton fame, personal friends with Ice Cube. And it just feels like another Fast and Furious movie. Like it's clear that the directors don't have a lot of input on these films, right?
I actually have a hilarious note here that I forgot to mention, but like at the beginning of the movie, the idea is that Letty and Dom are on their honeymoon, and they're like hanging out, and she's like, Dom, have you ever thought about being a dad? I think you'd be a good dad. And then in my mind, I'm like, can't be a dad now. Already 50. You're already 50. Dude.
Hey, you're 50, but also you're dad to everyone.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I thought it would be. Like, this is no more, no less, exactly the exact movie I believed it was gonna be.
Yeah, and I think that's what these movies are, and there is an audience for it. Clearly, it is us, because we love seeing The Rock, big and giant. But I mean, from like an actual film standpoint, it's like 8 might be too many.
Yeah. We'll talk about this next week. But sometimes when it comes to sequels, sometimes you got to know just when to just stop, when not to do anymore. Somebody told me they're like, I was talking to somebody about this franchise like a month ago, and they're like, oh, did you know that the new Fast and Furious movie is the last one? And I was like, no, sir, you are mistaken. Because it's in the first of a final trilogy. First and a final trilogy. That's so crazy.
But like, they're just like, there's 10,000 characters in this shit. It's like, just keep making spin-offs. It doesn't matter.
And like the best thing about it, you know what I would watch? A Luke Evans and Jason Statham spin-off.
That would be pretty good. Jason Statham's not like connected to anything really big besides this, right? Like,
I don't think so. Like, I mean, like all of his big stuff is sort of done now, like Crank and
Expendables 4 apparently is announced, but
they're not making that. Stallone is out of money, so they're not making that.
Yeah. I like he's on his IMDb. He's billed for an untitled Hong Kong action thriller. I'm excited about that. That should be good.
Don't know what that is, but let me just say I'm in on that alone.
I'm 100% in on something called untitled Hong Kong action thriller
that has fucking Sylvester Stallone in it. Dude, I'm down. Dude, what if? Oh, hold on. What if the untitled Hong Kong action thriller has Stallone and the niece?
Maybe
that might be the greatest thing of all time. I just want every action thriller to have Liam Neeson being somebody's dad.
Absolutely. You could be Jason Statham's dad very easily, I think.
Yeah, but I think like obviously they've already announced they keep feeling like they're gonna wind down this franchise. Like honestly, 7 felt like a good place to stop. But there's 5 more of them coming. Like it feels like they're winding down, but there's 5 more coming.
Well, there's always new ways to go. Apparently. I guess so. There's more countries left they haven't raced through, right? Like the next one, they have to drive off the side of a pyramid, right? Like,
I can't believe they didn't do it in this one. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, me too. Like, it has to go off the side of a pyramid at some point here.
Oh, or like use a pyramid as like a ramp to do like pull off some wild jump.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. They haven't found a good way to use the pyramid yet, but yeah. They're working on it.
Fuck it, get Buck LeDuc and I would write the best Fast and Furious script of all time.
Yeah,
we'd have them go to space and shit.
Yeah, we would go to space definitely. We'd launch a fucking rocket ship off the on top of a car, on top of 2 cars driven by Dom and the ghost of Paul Walker, and then they jump it off the pyramid, and then the spaceship goes into space.
Well, like the thing with the Fast and Furious franchise that I think it's struggling with right now is that like they keep having all these this massive cast of characters, and sometimes like they're like, oh, we got to kill off this character, so they do, but like that never has any weight to it because sometimes they'll just like come back.
Like when they killed off Letty the first time, and then she just came back, like with no explanation either. They're like, yeah, she's just back now. She was working with us the whole time. That's like,
and like
But doing what? Because like she just wasn't there for 2 movies.
And we watched her die. So like I know you said earlier the girl who plays Elaine, you're like pretty excited that she's dead, but don't worry, she's coming back. She's coming back as a cyborg.
Okay. Guess we'll find out.
Well, no, we won't find out. We'll decide because we are going to pen the next Fast and Furious.
All right.
Because like the writers listen to this show. There's no way they don't. Otherwise, this movie wouldn't be fucking perfectly catered to us.
That is true.
So unfortunately, we did have a bit of a rough week this week with Sir Roger Moore passing away. That actually sucks a lot. He's the first James Bond to go. Obviously, James Bond is, I think, both of our favorite franchise of all time.
Be correct. Roger Moore is probably both our favorites too. So
yeah, dude, Roger Moore is very fucking good at playing James Bond, and he was in so many good James Bond movies. So Buck LeDuc and I have put together. I think mine is all James Bond movies, but I think Buck LeDuc snuck in a couple of shitty ones here and there.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. I would say these are all great films that Roger Moore starred in. So
top 5 movies with Roger Moore. Buck LeDuc, why don't you take us into your number 5?
My number 5. The thing about these James Bond movies is they all kind of run together for me if they're not called Moonraker. So I'm gonna go with The Spy Who Loved Me as my number 5, which you recapped me before, and I do really like this one. It's a fun one.
Yeah, dude, The Spy Who Loved Me is great. The introduction of Richard Kiel as Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and then there's the guy with the beard. Oh, that's the one where James Bond like shoots the bad guy in the dick to death. Like I forgot about that. I forgot about that. In like the fucking underwater fortress, and he shoots the guy in the
submarine. Dick. It's good.
Yeah. Dude, The Spy Who Loved Me is so fucking good, dude. Now that I'm
gonna watch that one tonight. I haven't seen it in a while.
Shit, let's just do a Roger Moore marathon. I'll just watch them all on Baby Blue.
Yeah.
My number 5. This is Christopher Walken in A View to a Kill.
Ooh.
This one's I
like that one too.
Yeah, this one's like really good. It's the one where James Bond goes to Silicon Valley to try and stop like Nazi war hackers from like the 80s, but for some reason they're still Nazis or something like that. I don't remember. But it's so crazy, and Christopher Walken plays the 80s Nazi. It's wild, dude.
Christopher Walken underrated as a Bond villain. Nobody ever talks about him, but
blonde as hell. Blonde is way too blonde for Christopher Walken.
Hey, excuse me, sir. Too blonde. Anyway, my number 4, I'm gonna go with Octopussy.
Octopussy is so great, dude. Octopussy is so great. I think this might be the one where he bangs the most.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we do have the bang chart, and I believe this is one of the highest.
I think there was one with Sean Connery where he banged like 9. But
that one with Lazenby where he's on the ski hill or whatever is like the top banging one though.
Oh yeah, dude, because he bangs a lady and then he goes and he uses the exact same lines on a different lady and bangs her.
Yeah, he's finger blasting someone.
Dude, it's what? But nobody will ever bang as much as Xander Cage in Triple X.
That's true. True that.
My number 4 is we already talked about it. The Spy Who Loved Me, Richard Kiel, baby. Jaws, dude. Fucking in Egypt, fucking around in the. You see, James Bond, they got it. They got it before Fast and Furious. They know that sometimes you got to fuck around in the pyramids.
Absolutely, it's a good set piece.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My number 3, you got to put your franchise in space at some point. So we're gonna go with Moonraker.
Ooh, dude, I love the laser fights and. Like most of the movie isn't in space, but as soon as it goes to space, it ramps up to be the greatest film of all time.
Yeah, that's true. Not all of it is in space, but once it is in space,
laser fights, and then he bangs a lady in space, and like the government catches him, and they're like, "James, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Working on British relations." It's so crazy. My number 3. Rest in peace to both of these men. The man with the golden gun. Rest in peace to Roger Moore, and rest in peace to what's the other guy? Fucking Dracula. Christopher Lee.
That is my number 2.
Scaramanga, dude. Rest in peace.
Dude, I love Man with the Golden Gun. We'll be talking about it soon.
Next week. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll 100% be talking about it next week.
But yeah, the John Wick 2 may have taken a lot of inspiration from this film.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they might have lifted some shit. Might have, shit
Might
might be
have directly lifted some stuff. Yeah.
my number 2 heavy bang movie, baby. It's Octopussy.
Ooh, hell yeah, baby.
I love Octopussy. So wait, hold on. I'm thinking about all the movies that could possibly be your number 1, but don't you do what I think you're gonna do?
My number 1, starring Horatio Sands and Cuba Gooding Jr.
No.
That's Boat Trip, baby.
Dude, why have you done it? Why have you done this?
Because it's Roger Moore's best, single best performance of all time.
Okay, so I haven't seen Boat Trip in a very, very long time, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it about a guy who decides to go on vacation and accidentally books on a gay cruise? And that's the punchline. Isn't that what that's about? Yeah,
more or less. And then Roger Moore plays another man on the ship who is the James Bond of banging dudes. So,
oh, dude, sometimes you gotta be. You know what? I don't care who you're banging as long as you're banging, right? My number 1, banging in space, baby. It's Moonraker. I love this movie. I love when any franchise goes to space, dude. Jason X is the best Jason film. Clearly.
Well, that is an opinion for sure.
Clearly, the best opinion. That's why I like all of the Alien movies, because they all go to space.
Oh, we all in space?
They go to space immediately and stay there, dude. It's wild. Speaking of which, let's talk about Alien. So this will be the first in what is it, a 6-part series now? A 6-part series.
I feel like it's ever expanding.
Yeah, so this will be the first in a 9-part series where we talk about Alien films.
Remember when old man Ridley was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make 5 more of these movies," and then like 2 weeks later, he's like, "I will probably not live that long, but I will make at least another 2."
I like it because like in that interview, he's like, "Oh, I don't care about the artistic integrity anymore. I just want to make some movies." He's basically saying like, "Yeah, I want to sell out," which I respect a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Did you watch the director's cut of this movie? When you watched
sure
it?
Did. Yeah.
The director's cut is amazing for one reason and one reason alone. Is that at the beginning of the movie, Ridley Scott comes onto screen and he's like, first of all, he explains to the audience what a director's cut is. It's like, oh yeah, for those who don't, yeah,
never ever seen one before.
Yeah, he's like, oh, for those of you that don't know. But then the crazier part is after he explains what a director's cut is, he's like, yeah, I don't know if this one's like better or anything. Like they're both pretty much the same in goodness. You can really watch either of them, but like, I already pressed play on the director's cut, so you might as well just keep watching this.
I like that he's in like an editing bay too, or something like that.
Yeah, and there's like a fucking Alien poster behind him, and it's like, did you put that up? Did you just put that up?
One of my favorite interviews of all time was when they were asking Ridley Scott what his favorite sci-fi movies of all time was, and then he like listed a bunch, and then number 1 he listed his own movie. He's like, and then Alien is number 1, of course. It's like, it's just like such crazy confidence that I love.
Well, like the crazy thing is like he's not wrong.
Not wrong. I mean, there's a couple that I like more, but
dude, if he said Blade Runner and Alien were the best sci-fi movies of all time, I'd be like, shit, he's like
close, he's
not far off there. Oh my god. So obviously we kind of already said it already, but besides Ridley Scott being the craziest person on the planet, Alien is a perfect sci-fi. Like there is like so much to say about this movie,
especially for like these claustrophobic monster movies. It's like Alien and The Thing. Like that's the perfect double feature in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very comparable. They really are very comparable. What I think is so big about this movie, especially for the year, what was it, 1979? Strong female lead. Before it became a gimmick to have a strong female lead, which it has in Hollywood now, which, by the way, I'm not condoning at all. I think that's fucking ridiculous.
Well, it becomes like a parody, like almost immediately once James Cameron grabs onto those reins. So,
but like in this movie, it's just a strong character lead. Like that's the crazy part is that Ellen Ripley, who sounds awfully close to your own name there, Ridley Scott. Ellen Ripley is truly just a badass character, and it has absolutely nothing to do with her gender or really anything. In fact, her gender's barely mentioned in the movie. She's just being a badass, dude. That's how you do a strong female lead. Why they fucked up that Ghostbusters movie that much is because they kept fucking bringing attention to it. If you don't bring attention to it, I'm not going to notice it's a strong female lead. I'm just going to know it's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck Ghostbusters do? Ghostbusters drives me wild, but we'll get
I can't even talk about it. So
this movie is pretty much all practical effects.
Yeah,
and it all looks great.
Well, yeah, and under the tutelage of H.R. Geiger,
H.R. Geiger alien, whew,
so creepy, dude. And like they lean into that a lot more in the Alien Covenant, the new one, but that style, man, whew, it's scary. Like, it's just so scary.
Well, and what's good about this one too is that not only is Ripley a great character, but pretty much everyone is a great character in this. Dallas is a great character. Ash is a great character. Kane's a great character. Motherfucking Jonesy, dude. Jonesy is the best character in cinema, maybe. I was screwed. And then, dude, I love Jonesy. So Jonesy is the cat in this movie, and he doesn't do anything but be a cat, and it's the most exciting thing of the entire film.
Well, what I do like about Alien specifically, and for The Thing too, it's a monster movie that knows how to be conservative with the monster so that it's actually scary when you see it.
Yes,
and I mean, there's a lot of Jonesy jump scares, but I mean more so in the next one. But I do like the fact that they knew when to use the alien. So
yeah, I totally agree. And I think that's probably one of the biggest points that people talk about in this movie is that really you sort of get glimpses of the alien here and there, but you don't really see it until that final scene in the escape pod with Ripley. And like that scene in the escape pod, this movie is truly terrifying. Not many movies scare me. This movie fucks me up. Like, this is a truly terrifying movie.
Yeah, and like just like because the lighting is so good, that's a big part of it to me, and the claustrophobia.
And the cinematography, like, it's so crazy how they're able to get like such good cinematography. There's one in particular that's really great, like when Dallas is climbing through the air vent, and then there's like a scene where like the hatch door in the air vent closes in front of him, and suddenly Dallas shifts from being the foreground to the background, and the hatch becomes the foreground. It's really cool, like, and it looks great.
Yeah, Ridley Scott knows what he's doing. Whether or not he cares anymore, that's to be determined. But
you know what? He doesn't care anymore, and I don't necessarily even think that's a bad thing, honestly.
Yeah,
like, I think he just doesn't really give a shit anymore, and like he's just gonna make garbage now for money, which is what I would do, you know, if I were in his shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a good run.
Yeah, absolutely. He did. He made some of the best films of all time. This and fucking Blade Runner, great films. There is something that I wanted to clear up too, and I know that this is from like a podcast from like maybe 2.5 years ago, but a few years ago, we did top 5 robots in movies, and I cited Dallas from this film. Dallas is not a robot. It is actually Ash that is the robot, and that is the one that I meant. And I don't know who that guy is, but he sure looks like Tony Shalhoub.
Who? The British guy that plays the robot?
Yeah, dude. Sure looks like British Tony Shalhoub. Less Jewish. maybe a little less Jewish, but I also like that H.R. Geiger sure does love to make slimy stuff. Just like
he loves it.
Loves the slime, dude. The weird thing about this movie is it's going to be hard to put this into words, essentially, but like in this movie, there really is no antagonist. There's just survival instincts between two different species, and nobody is really at fault. Like the xenomorph in this movie isn't really a bad guy, right? Like, it's not a villain. It just is existing as it would, the same way that, you know, Alan Ripley and the crewmates of the Nostromo are also just existing the way that they would. They're just completely running off survival instinct, and that's a really cool dynamic. That is an absolutely fantastic. Right, because
it doesn't have evil intentions. It's just it's an animal.
Yeah, it's situational. Like the movie is scary because of the situation, but nobody is like.
It's like in the same way a shark attack movie is scary, not because there's something nefarious going on. It's just there happens to be a shark.
Yeah,
They're
it's just
going
like
about.
situation. And like almost kind of feel worse for the aliens and like the sharks in movies like that because they
Oh
just
yeah.
doing it. They just doing their thing, right? Like,
In the new one, there's little baby aliens, and it's like, oh, they're so cute, and then they're shooting them in the face. I don't
well, like
like.
at the end of this movie, there's like the part where she's like, she like opens up the air vent and it like is like shooting at the alien while it's like sleeping, and he's like, ah, ah, ah! And like you feel bad. You're like, leave that man alone.
It's clearly a man.
Give that man a drink. God damn it.
Get this man a big soup.
But yeah, I mean, like, this movie had me jumping. Like, it's not like the type of scary movie that's gonna cause you to lose sleep, but it will have you jumping. And it's not even just jump scares, right? It's like just like intent and like just the way the movie is shot and lit. I think you talked about lighting earlier, and it is
Lighting's good. It's I think it's just because like mainly because it's so claustrophobic, cat and mouse on like a ship. Plus, H.R. Geiger hellscape. Like everything is just creepy looking.
Well, and like I think this movie might have some of the best, if not the best, art direction I've ever seen in a movie. Like
that's probably true.
It's incredible. Maybe
like a spaceship looks so cool, and like it looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, yes. And like there's so many movies where the spaceship looks like a fucking set, and this didn't. This looked like they were on a spaceship.
They're climbing through tubes and stuff. It's a spaceship.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
in the fucking.
It's like when you see the International Space Station, and like those guys are like climbing through and playing with water and shit. You're like, yeah, if that was dark, and then it would look exactly like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I really like this movie. I think Sigourney Weaver is amazing. I think she is very good. John Hurt, may he rest in peace. John Hurt also very, very good. Yeah, there's just so much I like about this movie. Jonesy particularly.
I find it kind of weird that spaceships are always so damp. It's like why is this so damp?
Yeah, why is yours dripping?
Shouldn't the spaceship be dry? Why is there just liquid everywhere? It's like I'm looking at the walls and it's creepy because it's damp, but like, why is it damp?
Well, like what's good about the spaceship?
How much water is in the air there that the spaceship is so constantly damp, and there's like water everywhere? Like,
it's because H.R. Geiger is licking the walls everywhere, making it gross and slimy.
That's great. That's good content.
But yeah, like the art direction of this movie might only be rivaled by one other film, which is also a Ridley Scott film. Of course, Blade Runner might have some of the best art direction I've ever seen too. But you know, maybe we'll watch that. Maybe we'll watch that Blade Runner shit sometime.
No, we'll watch it when the new one comes out.
Yeah, fuck it, we'll watch it. It's a one-off. It's a one-off. We can do that.
Yeah, and it's also one of my favorite movies of all time, so I'd never say no to watching it.
yeah. Blade Runner. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say Alien is fucking awesome, dude. Alien is. If you haven't seen it, you dumb. Got to see it. 100%. It's
There's
fantastic.
a lot of people. I saw a lot of people on Facebook saying they'd never seen Alien when the new one came out, and I was like, huh.
That's confusing
That's
to me.
obviously insane.
Yeah. Like if somebody came up to me and they're like, I've never seen Predator, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But if someone comes up to me and they're like, I've never seen Alien, I'm like, ooh, you dumb then.
If you,
for sure.
You can say any Arnold movie and it doesn't shock me, but when you say you never seen Alien, I'm very confused.
I don't think I've ever seen Total Recall. The first one.
It's not very good, so it doesn't matter.
Don't you see Arnold's finger in that, or like at least a glimpse or a shadow of his fingers?
It might be finger shadow, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it comes close. Like I know that T2 like comes mad close to his finger.
Yeah, it's the closest for sure.
But then they Austin Powers him when he's naked and have him just like walking behind shit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the last movie of the day, Lego Batman. I know you like this movie a lot. It's all right. It's pretty good. I'd say it's as good as the first Lego movie.
Oh, it's definitely better than the first Lego movie.
I'd say it's honestly, they felt pretty much the same to me, very comparable.
Well, I like these because they shouldn't work, right? Like Lego
as a film,
in film form. Why would that work? And then like especially when they like making a Batman parody also, but it's made of Lego. Why
The
should that
Batman
work?
parody,
And then it works.
I think the Batman parody is awesome. Like there's so many funny jokes about Batman. Like there's even like that scene where Ray Fiennes is like, "I've been with you through all the years since you were mopey between like 2004 to 2011," and I'm like, that's good content right there.
Yeah. Well, they really do like hit all of the making fun of all of the Batmans basically.
Yeah. They even like sometimes they even just like show pictures from the films. Like there's like pictures of Adam West in this film.
There's just like a lot of like jokes that I really like. There's like when Robin's first in the Batcave and he's getting his costume and he's like, "Oh, that's my Rasta Man costume."
Yeah, that is
ridiculous.
Yeah, this movie it's so funny, and it's so funny because I think Will Arnett is very funny.
Yeah,
and he's very like the movie opens like during the fucking opening roll where you see the production companies. He's like narrating that. And he's like, "Rat Pack. I don't know who those guys are, but it's a pretty cool logo." It's like it's like a lot of stuff like that. But it is
if you watch the April Fool's Netflix gag where it was just Will Arnett narrating like toasters and stuff, and it's like, how is this the funniest thing I've ever seen? And it's the same idea.
What was that called again? Netflix
Live?
Yeah, Netflix Live. That's right. I never watched that, but I heard it's funny.
It is funny. It's just Will Arnett narrating toasters and printers and stuff.
There's also a really good bit at the very beginning where he quotes Michael Jackson. And then he's like, "Michael Jackson, no, Batman. I made that quote."
Yeah, I mean, I think the gagginess of these movies are fun, and I get it. But it's like also these aren't really movies.
No, I agree. These are more like supplements to real movies. Yeah. Honestly, the same way that like Lego video games are the same way. They're not real video games. They're supplements to real things. Mm-hmm. I don't think that these should be playing in theaters, and I don't think like these are fucking straight to DVD movies. Not that they're not good, but they just do feel like straight to DVD movies. It's accidentally got a budget. The cast is insane in this
Everybody's
movie. Like,
famous.
Fucking Channing Tatum's in there, Jonah Hill, Will Arnett, Michael Cera, fucking Jenny Slate, Zach Galifianakis. Zach Galifianakis is the Joker. I think I would have gone somewhere else with that. I think I would have taken a different route than that. But if that's what they're gonna do, that's what they're gonna do. So, yeah, like I feel like there's like 9,000. Oh yeah, there's actually a very funny joke in the casting alone, and that is Billy D. Williams voices Two-Face in this movie, which is a great joke because Billy D. Williams played Harvey Dent in the original Tim Burton Batman movies, but then when they were like, we got to make a Two-Face movie, they fucking recast him, that is a very funny joke poke at Warner Brothers and their stupid casting decisions with Tommy Lee Jones, the worst actor of all time.
You hate Tommy Lee, hey?
Dude, I hate him in that movie at the very least. I think he's all right in like, was that Lincoln? Was he in that? Yeah, he was pretty good in that. Bad movie, but he's pretty good in it.
We don't talk about Lincoln here.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sacred Grounds. But yeah, like there is just like, it is a wild cast, but this movie made me realize two things. Number one, never put Zach Galifianakis in any superhero movie. I don't think it works. Number two, Jenny Slate should have been Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad because she is
absolutely.
She is clearly much more suited to the character than fucking. I get it. They want me to fuck Margot Robbie. I understand it. That's what you want from me, Hollywood. But I would rather enjoy a film with Jenny Slate than want to fuck Margot Robbie, which I do.
You think I wouldn't fuck Jenny Slate?
Oh, true. True. If Captain America wouldn't beat the shit out of me, I would fuck Jenny Slate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really a lot of really great humor in this movie. My favorite bit of the entire movie is kind of the main bit where like the main idea of the movie, and this is why it's so funny, is that like the Joker thinks that he's like dating Batman. And which is so funny. And then like Batman is like, you're nothing to me. He's like, no, come on, we're something. He's like, I like to fight around. I like to fight around is the funniest line I've heard in cinema this year. I was laughing so hard at I like to fight around.
There's a lot of strong bits like that. Um, I, I I don't know. I enjoy this film. I think it's a lot of fun.
It's very colorful, very fun to look at.
Yeah, that's another thing is it's these movies are interesting to look at for sure. They're stop motion, made of Lego.
Well, and it's certainly the best. It's certainly the best Batman movie in the past decade. Which
well, it's better than Batman versus Superman. Yeah, that's for sure.
fucking most Pirates of the Caribbean 4 is better than Batman versus Superman.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch either of them again though.
Ooh, that's a good call though. That's a very good call. This I don't know. Like I just felt like it was so samey as the first movie that like I think you could watch both these movies separately, and honestly, I think you could probably watch them back to back even. But I think once you've seen one, you've seen the other, and I think really you could just pick one.
At least you don't have to hear annoying Chris Pratt, so I think that's great.
Ooh, yeah, actually, that is Will Arnett is better as a main character than Chris Pratt.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think having Batman, just because like Batman was one of the funniest parts of the first movie, having him be the main focus of the movie, it really works. Like it works in a way that honestly, my expectations for this movie was that it was going to suck. Like I knew there was no way this could have been good, but pulled the Trixie on me, dude. It actually ended up being pretty good. I do. I like it.
You guys having the 50th anniversary Justice League party?
yeah. They roll up to the 50th anniversary. Batman's not invited. That's good stuff.
Good content. A lot of good content.
Yeah, I do like this movie a lot. I think it's about the same. Maybe a little better than the first one, but I wouldn't say like considerably better. You
also don't have to see Will Ferrell. I just think there's so many benefits.
Oh yeah, not having to see or hear Will Ferrell is actually a good point. So I will.
I think it's better. It's better as a film.
Yeah, having no Chris Pratt's definitely a plus. But this one does have Michael Cera in your face, so it is a tough call. You know,
I kind of like his bit though.
Yeah, he does have a funny bit where he's a young orphan kid, like
accidentally gets adopted by Batman. That's a pretty funny bit.
Yeah, and he's like, the crazy thing about this one is that everybody knows who Batman is in this movie because Bruce Wayne and Batman like don't even try to hide their identity, except for the villains who for some reason don't know, which is hilarious. And they're all like, "Oh my god, Batman is Bruce Wayne's roommate," and I'm like, "Shit, that's good. That's good content." Yeah,
yeah,
I'd say see this movie. I would say like. It's going to hit Netflix, it's going to hit Netflix. Maybe wait till then. It's not like a must see. It's not like if this isn't nominated for best animated, I'm not going to riot or anything. I'm going to be fine, I think.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really need that. It's more of anything. If you're a fan of Batman and especially if you know the older stuff, there's just so many good bits, especially all the Adam West stuff is just like, it's my favorite shit. So
yeah. Also, I just want to point something out that Ralph Fiennes is in this movie, but then there's also a Voldemort character, but it is not Ralph Fiennes, which is wildly confusing and kind of hilarious.
Yeah, let him play Voldemort there too.
Fuck it, let him play Voldemort. Oh, what? He's gonna play Butler, but not play Voldemort? That's weird. Hey, you know what's crazy though is that like Ralph Fiennes had to show up to like the table read and hear somebody else like do an impression of him.
Yeah,
which is crazy. So I mean, I think that's pretty much all that we can say about that. Have you seen trailers for the movie Wonder?
No,
I'm very excited. I kind of want to see it, but I also kind of don't. So essentially, it's like this new movie with fucking Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson, and they have a kid who's like deformed and he tries to go to school and gets bullied and stuff. Jacob Tremblay. Yeah, me too. Jacob Tremblay plays the kid, and obviously Jacob Tremblay is pretty good. But here's my big issue is that the movie does look good. It's it's a fluff movie. It looks like a fluff movie that's like, oh, they don't care about his face. They all just love him at the school because he's a stand-up fellow. But here's my problem. Owen Wilson and Julia Roberts? I don't buy that.
No.
She's 2 decades older than him. And he's to good looking for Julia Roberts.
That's the way you're going with that joke. Okay. I see.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Dude, Owen Wilson is so goddamn good looking. He's even got the wow thing. He's got the wow thing going on. And like, I feel like Julia Roberts, pretty big teeth on Julia Roberts these days. But
a lot of teeth on her. Hey, excuse me. You got a lot of teeth on you. You mind getting taking some of that off, carving a little bit of that off?
Wonder is the kind of movie that would be front runner for Oscars, and you and I would be pissed about it. Like that, I feel like that's the kind of movie we're gonna be seeing. Other than that, we did get a new trailer for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I don't care. I'm gonna watch it, but
I feel like Disney's tricking me. They're tricking me into thinking it's gonna be good, and I know it's not. Like they're tricking me because like it looks kind of fun, but like I know it's not gonna be good, right?
Man, I've been to the theater like 4 times this month, and like here's the thing, I can't watch that Mummy trailer anymore.
I saw it a lot. I also when I went to a theater a couple days ago and we saw the fucking Last Jedi trailer on the big screen. Looks good on the big screen.
Sure does.
Sure looks good on the big screen with the lasers all around your head.
About these trailers nowadays, it's like, what classic rock song are they gonna mash up? It's usually that one, but sometimes it's Rolling Stones.
Sometimes it's AC/DC. When it's AC/DC, I know I'm not gonna like the movie as soon as it's AC/DC.
But the best one that I've seen. Have you seen the trailer for Atomic Blonde?
I've not. No, I know of it, but I've not seen the trailer.
Now this is the best trailer of all time because it has a Depeche Mode Kanye mashup.
Oh, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. Wow.
Yeah. And it just has her killing everybody, and it looks like a great movie.
The Mummy is gonna be bad, right? Here's a crazy thing that I actually didn't know about The Mummy, though. Do you know that it's like the first of several movies in a new Universal monster universe?
Yeah, Dark Universe. Fucking Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll? Fucking Johnny Depp plays Invisible Man? How about we don't do that?
Benicio is like the wolf, or he's like the Wolf Man, or no?
Somebody crazy plays Frankenstein's monster, and I forget who it is.
Javier Bardem.
Is it Javier Bardem?
Yeah.
That's actually a good cast, though. Like
that is a good cast.
That is a good fucking cast. But Russell Crowe is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That could be good.
Well, he's in the Mummy movie, so we'll see.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he plays like the Nick Fury character.
Oh, so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are Nick Fury? You
Yes.
know what, mate? Yeah, you know what, Universal? Here's the thing, Universal, is that Disney has had to pull out these fucking beloved franchise to make the money franchises to make the money that they make, and you're just making that money naturally. Don't do that.
Now here's something that I have a theory on for this Universal reboot. Because I've seen this Mummy trailer now about 1,500 times.
Yep.
And every time I take away from it that it's very clear that they're setting up Tom Cruise to be the Mummy himself, a la the original, not the Brendan Fraser, but
the
Universal, where the Mummy is the character. Like,
yep,
they're setting up him to be like a good mummy, which is interesting for this monster universe.
Well, I'm wondering for this monster universe is like what's because like in a superhero universe, like conflict is simple. It's bad guys, but what's if they're all the monsters? What's the conflict?
What are they fighting?
Yeah, if they are the good monsters, like is there more monsters?
Well, from what I can tell, they're taking the Marvel route where it's the mummy fighting a bad mummy.
I like the 30s monster universe because everybody was played by Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, or Boris Karloff. You were just all those two guys.
Yeah. And when they did mashup movies, it was just those two guys hanging out a lot on green screens.
There's also the other one. I think his name is Clive Rains or something. He played the Invisible Man.
Was it Boris Karloff who was Wolfman?
I forget who was Wolfman.
Because I'm pretty sure Bela Lugosi was Dracula and Frankenstein.
I think it was Lon Chaney Jr. was the Wolfman.
Oh, okay. But yeah, just this is gonna be a crazy reboot. Like I just don't know where they're really gonna go with it. Makes me kind of want to watch the old ones. Honestly.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, dude, I would. Do you know how much I would book watching the Dracula movies?
Yeah, we have to do the Universal monster movies at some point, or at least a section of them. Maybe we'll watch some mummy movies before.
Yeah. I'm thinking like if we're gonna do Universal monster movies, we should do them one at a time because there's like 150 of these movies. So
well, then there's the Hammer ones, which are also awesome.
yeah, Hammer horror.
Yeah, because they have all like the Frankenstein and the Dracula and the Mummy too.
Didn't they do all those
there's like 5 of those also.
Didn't they do all those weird horror movies with Daniel Radcliffe a few years ago?
That's when they rebooted Hammer, as a production company, but it's still like it's not the same thing exactly. It's just they're just putting the Hammer name onto those movies. They made a couple other movies too.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I would say that is the pod. Get excited because more good shit is coming next week. Ooh, buckle up. Next week's gonna be crazy. We're talking about John Wick Chapter 2. We're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. We're talking about aliens. It's gonna be a crazy episode. So make sure you buckle up. Follow me at Chadley the Movie. I'm at Let's Cool Dude on Twitter. Have a good day, everyone.